Hi guys, Harry here, and with the final series that we'll ever get of Ash Ketchum already having actually started to be aired, I thought now would be a good time to go over what I want to see in his last ever series. The last time we'll probably ever see him, at least as the main protagonist of the Pokemon anime. And I wanted to get this video out to you guys before his last series actually started to be aired, but we've only seen a couple of episodes. It hasn't given too much away. I think it will really start to pick up, obviously, towards the final few episodes of his final series. But of course, it has already been amazing. But this video will be going over what I wanted to see in his last series. So, before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get into the video. So, first thing I want to see is battles. Battling is a big part of Ash Ketchum's character. He just challenges anyone to a battle, and what I really want to see is Ash battling everyone he has ever lost to. So, of course, some of the big names are, of course, Richie, who he lost to in the Indigo League, Harrison, who he lost to in the Johto Silver Conference, Tyson, who he lost to in the Evergrande Conference, of course, Tobias, the guy with two legendaries, who he lost to in the Lily of the Valley Conference. Of course, there's his rival Cameron, with the Riolu, who just evolved into a Lucario mid-battle against Ash, of course, in the Virtus Conference. And also Virgil, who he hasn't actually battled yet, but everyone thought this was the guy that Ash was going to lose to in the Virtus Conference, the guy with all the evolutions. And yes, I did say everyone thought Virgil was the guy who was going to beat Ash. Sorry, Black and White Ash, no one had much faith in you winning that battle and becoming champion in the Unova League anyway. But then we move on to actually in Carlos, where we have Diantha, who of course was the champion of, well, Carlos, and they actually did have a battle, which obviously Ash lost to Diantha, and he didn't get to battle against Diantha in the Masters 8 tournament in Galar, so I would really love to see a rematch of that, hopefully Ash beating her. We also have Alan, which is the only rival Ash has battled and hasn't beaten again. Like the rival that has been Ash's rival throughout basically the whole series of that region, and he hasn't beaten that person, and Alan is that main person. I think Alan's Mega Charizard X is the only Pokemon Ash Greninja has ever lost against and then hasn't been able to beat that Pokemon again at a later date. So Alan versus Ash would be a battle that we have to see, and Greninja would have to come back for that as well. And of course, speaking of characters that were in the Masters 8, there is Iris, who Ash has beaten before, but we didn't get them a full 6-on-6 battle or even a 3v3 battle against Ash and Iris in the Masters 8 tournament. And I would have really loved to see that. Ash hopefully beating her, but it would have just been really cool to see how much her dragons have grown against, of course, Ash, all her dragons, Dragonite, Haxorus, even her other Pokemon like Emolga and Excadrill. I know we did get a small battle between them at 2v2 when Ash was going up to, well, hopefully climbing the ranks, which he did in the Masters 8 tournament, to obviously perform in the World Coronation series, but I would really love to see a full battle 6v6 against these two characters. And of course we also have Lance, who was in the Masters 8 tournament, who Ash hasn't battled against either. And I would really love to see this. And actually, Lance is the only champion Ash has never battled against, discounting Alder, but Iris is the Unova champion in the anime now, so I don't think we'll get to see that. It would be cool to see Ash versus Alder battle, but I think Lance of course, who we've seen is the champion of Kanto. It would be really great for Ash to beat Lance, as of course he kind of then beats the top trainer of the region he's from, because of course he's from the Kanto region. And of course I would love to see battles from anyone I've ever missed who Ash has never beat. I think I've got them all though, but I might have missed someone, so let me know down in the comments below if I have, but I think that's everyone. And moving on to a bit more light-hearted stuff, we have friends. Of course, I want to see all of Ash's friends return and, well, just hang out with him would be amazing. Of course, battle him. We got a battle between Ash and Misty, and I would love to see how their battling skills have progressed alongside, of course, Ash's battling skills we know have progressed a lot. Of course, show him new Pokemon they've caught, maybe battling him with those new Pokemon, and of course, tell him what they have been up to. Of course, we've seen what all of Ash has been up to, but we want to see what they have been up to as well. Maybe even them battling against each other, like May or Dawn showing Serena what they have learnt in coordinated tests, instead of course, Serena what she learnt in her time travelling through Carlos. Anyway, I would love to see a battle between, of course, May and Serena, or Dawn and Serena, or even May and Dawn. It would be lovely to see that. Of course, we need battles with Ash involved as well. Of course, Ash is the main battler of the whole group, so it would be lovely to see battles against him as well. And show Ash through those battles what they have learned, of course, in their travels. And of course, speaking of returning characters, we want his Pokemon to return. Of course, we need to visit all of Ash's old Pokemon. Of course, most of them are at our Professor Oak's lab, and we saw some of that, of course, in Journeys, but it would be lovely to see them all again. Especially his old Pokemon that he released or gave away, like Primeape, who went on to become a boxer. Of course, Pidgeot, who went to protect the Pidgeys and Pidgeotos. Even Ambipom, who he gave to the Ping Pong Championship for it to, train to become a Ping Pong champion. As well as we need to see Greninja and, of course, Butterfree. I know we got to see Greninja in Ultimate Journeys, as it kind of trained Lucario, but if we see a battle against Alan, Ash and Alan, Greninja definitely needs to return to that. And I know we saw Butterfree as well in Ultimate Journeys, but is Butterfree? It is everyone's famous lost Pokemon. We need to see more Butterfree as well. See how that relationship has been going with the weird, other coloured, non-shiny, but just cool looking Butterfree. Also, speaking of Pokemon, we of course have to mention Ash's Pikachu. This series also has to revolve around his Pikachu as well, as this is Ash's top Pokemon. It has been in the anime as long as Ash has. It has featured in as many episodes as he has, maybe even more with the story, the little episode we had about his backstory as a Pichu. So I would love this series as well to go more into Pikachu's backstory as well as just focusing on Ash as well. Because Pikachu, this might be the last time we ever see Pikachu in the anime, let alone Ash's Pikachu, as they might go with a new mascot. It might be Pawmi. Pawmi might be the new mascot of the new series. So we really have to focus on Ash's Pikachu as well. So I think it's important that rather than just focus on Ash, we focus on Pikachu as well. And again, I would love to have an episode where it really went over their bond, Ash's bond with Pikachu and vice versa, how Ash trusts Pikachu completely and it is his best bud, and also with Pikachu, Pikachu trusts Ash completely and Ash is Pikachu's best bud. It just goes to show how strong a bond they have, and I think that should be a focal point, that should be a main point in one of these episodes. And it would just be amazing, as it's been shown many times, how strong their connection is. And in their last series, it really needs to be pushed to the front that their bond is so strong, and it needs to be the main point of at least one episode. And of course, we can't forget about Pikachu, because just like Ash is leaving, so too is Pikachu. Might be the last time we ever see Ash, might be the last time we ever see Ash's Pikachu, and might be the last time, well, we see Pikachu at least as a main character in a Pokemon anime episode, full stop. And it would make really good sense to focus on a Pikachu centric episode, especially when Ash's Pokemon return that he gave away, or that are at Professor Oak's lab. It would be really good to see that. As when Pikachu was against Leon's Gigantamax Charizard, Pikachu, when it blacked out just for a minute, it saw all of Ash's old Pokemon, even Pokemon that he had given away, and it goes to show how much the Pokemon look up to Pikachu. Pikachu is the leader of the group. Even if he isn't the strongest Pokemon in that region or the MVP, he is the father figure, the leader of all those Pokemon. They all look up to him. So it would be great to have a Pikachu-centric episode along with the returning Pokemon in this series. And I just think it would be amazing to focus on Pikachu and, of course, Ash's bond with Pikachu and Pikachu's bond with Ash. Of course, I would love to see travelling as well. I know we got to see a lot of that in Journeys, Masters Journeys, Ultimate Journeys, but I want to see more. I want to see how the regions have changed. I want a real more in-depth look at how the regions have changed. I know that one of the biggest and best bits of course, the Johto games were seeing how Kanto has changed from, of course, the Kanto games, and everyone has been really asking, can we get a look at another region? Carlos has been at the top of a lot of people's list, in the post-game. Can we go and look at Carlos and see how much that has changed? And I would love to see that, of course, in this series. This is the last time we'll ever go through a region with Ash. So I would love to see them go into other regions, the regions he has visited before, and that could lead nicely into Paldea, what region next? And then we go into Paldea, which neatly leads into the next Pokemon anime, and I just think it would be great to see all the regions, how much they have changed from before, and, well, I just think it would be so cool for Ash and all of his travelling companions, maybe, to travel to some different regions. And, of course, the last thing, the most important thing, I think, on this list, of course, a Pokemon Master. Now, I know a lot of people want a time jump, and yeah, I'm not against a time jump, but I think the biggest thing is, as long as Ash finally gets to be a Pokemon Master, whether he's 10, 20, 30, as long as he is finally a Pokemon Master and can also obviously enjoy his life and continue battling, I think that is the most important thing. Whether he's still 10-year-old Ash Ketchum, whether he is 20 or 30 or 40 years old, as long as he is a Pokemon Master, I think that is all that matters. And this is obviously the biggest thing that has to be in this series, Ash's last ever Pokemon series. He needs his dream to come true, and he needs to be finally recognised and called a Pokemon Master. But that is what I want to see from Ash Ketchum's last ever series of the Pokemon anime. Let me know down in the comments below if you like this list, or if you would have a completely different list. And also, are you sad to see Ash leave the Pokemon anime? Of course, he has been a part of our childhood since the mid-90s, and now he is finally leaving the show in the mid-2020s. So it's just sad to see him go. Also, let me know down in the comments below if you would like me to do breakdowns of the Pokemon series, of Ash's last Pokemon series, because I feel like that would be, well, something I would like to do, as this is a big thing in the Pokemon community as a whole. But anyway, if you like this episode, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out, and I will see you in the next one.